Imagine myself taking the train to this city or that city I never had from a passenger standpoint. How hard is it to, from our market here to kind of plan out a little getaway where you can hop on a train and take a few days? Like, what does that take today?
Actually, it's quite easy. Amtrak serves Dallas Union Station. They have a train called the Texas Eagle that runs between Los Angeles, San Diego, Dallas, and Chicago. You can go to Texarkana. You can go to Little Rock, St. Louis on the same train. It stops at the intermediate routes. And I suggest that everyone take a cross-country train trip sometime in their lives. Save up your money, go first class, eat in the dining car. It is a great way to see the nation. It's almost like a rolling national park. And my suggestion is you take the train from Dallas to Austin, which is a day trip, spend some time down there, come back. If you like that, do the overnight trip north to Chicago and go up there and see all the museums and make a vacation out of it.
How long is that Dallas to Austin? Like, you leave in the morning, come back in the evening, I can go check out the Capitol?
You can, the trip to Austin, it goes by way of Fort Worth. It's a little circuitous because it goes down through some of the hill country on the way to Austin, which is real pretty.
Like, that'd be nice.
It's a beautiful trip. Can't remember, it takes about 6 hours, which is longer than, you would drive it. But remember, you're eating in the dining car, you're relaxing in the lounge, and you get there rested.
Cool. All right. So this is Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble, Deconstructing Dallas. When we get back from this next break, I want to talk a little bit more about the museum, their move from Fair Park to Frisco, what their plans are, and even some of the interesting train sets that they have. So hang with us. We'll be right back. This is Deconstructing Dallas.
Remember when we wowed you with the code WOWFRESH and saved you $10 on your Walmart online grocery pickup order? Well, get ready to be blown away 3 times over. Hey friends, it's your old pal RT here. And Walmart has given us a new code that will save you 10% off 2-day shipping items, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's right, with the code TRIPLE10, you can save 10% off any order of $35 or more made through the Walmart app or walmart.com. And guess what? You can use code TRIPLE10 on up to 3 orders, 3 times the savings. Here's how it works. Place an order of $35 or more with your Walmart app or on walmart.com. Make sure your order includes at least 1 2-day shipping item. Use promo code TRIPLE10 when you check out, and boom, 10% off your order, 3 times in a row. It's a triple play with Walmart, so use code TRIPLE10, that's TRIPLE10, today on the Walmart app or walmart.com.
Welcome back. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble, Deconstructing Dallas. I am with Bob LaPrelle, President and CEO of the Museum of the American Railroad. So we talked, again, you were at Fair Park for a long time, but you all moved to Frisco recently. Can you talk a little bit about that move specifically? And because I know it was not, as I read you say, not always the best of circumstances, but you got through it and you've really created a beautiful facility now. So can you talk about that move to Frisco?
Sure. Well, we had a good run in Fair Park in Dallas, and I was there 25 of those years, and it is a marvelous facility. We had mixed feelings about moving, but really to pursue our goals and our mission, we needed more space. That was really the bottom line. We were able to move from 1.8 acres to almost 15 acres in Frisco and kind of take the reins off this museum and be able to realize the type of things that we had envisioned for it in the future. It was a good move. We're expanding our programming and our breadth in North Texas, as well as the size of the collection. It was a Herculean task. When we finally agreed on moving to Frisco, we looked around that museum at Fair Park, and we had 42 cars and locomotives, most of which hadn't been out on the rail lines in decades. Mm-hmm. We had 2 historic structures that had to be moved. It was a massive project. And as it turns out, it took about 2 years to move everything from Fair Park to Frisco. The actual move of the rolling stock, the cars and locomotives, took 18 months. The railroads were amazingly gracious in providing their services at no cost and working with us on it. They saw the importance of preserving that history. There was a little bit of angst, I guess, with Dallas about leaving that city. I'm a Dallas boy. I'm a native. I get it. But it really did allow us to go and really flourish as a museum. And we serve all of North Texas. We still serve Dallas.
So can you talk a little bit about because you mentioned the education component. So just a little bit more for our listeners who are not familiar with Museum of the American Railroad and kind of how you all operate on a day-to-day basis and just specifically, how you serve our community.
Well, we are a year-round operation. We're open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. We have a 4-person full-time staff. One is our educator, director of education. She works very closely with the local school districts, and in particular Frisco. And we give educational programs and guided tours to almost all the grades, but we concentrate on 3rd grade and 7th grade. And there are some great opportunities for programming. We talk about the railroad's role in the expansion of the U.S. We talk about Texas history subjects in the railroad. We get into civil rights legislation because of the story of the Pullman Porters. It's a great opportunity to talk about how the railroad affected all of our culture in this country.
I know late last year you all received what I believe was your biggest gift that you had received, a single gift from Amanda and Brent Ryan, which was a $300,000 gift. Can you talk a little bit about what that allowed you to do?
Sure. Yeah, that was the largest gift from a private, donor in the history of the museum. We were very excited to get it. Brent Ryan likes trains a lot. He has family roots with the Texas and Pacific Railroad out in Big Spring, Texas. So it really was a perfect fit. And his gift enabled us to completely reconstruct and present this model train layout that was recently donated to us at the Frisco Discovery Center, which is right next door to our museum site. And we opened Traintopia last week. His gift allowed us to present this fantastic collection of trains that had been donated by the Sanders family in Dallas. So people can come and see this huge operating train layout firsthand with theatrical lighting and everything. It's amazing.
I know I've been to Brent Ryan's house for an event, and he has a really nice collection of trains and model trains too. So I know that he is an enthusiast and has been very supportive of the museum. Yes,
he's been very supportive. He's been a delight to work with, and his enthusiasm is infectious. And I guess in some ways we have a big train set now that he can come and play with anytime he wants.
Well, you mentioned Traintopia, which opened July 18th. Can you talk more about Traintopia and why that's been such a big push for the museum?
Well, anything in miniature always seems to be of interest to folks. And this is an amazing exhibit. It spans the American Southwest. It has majestic Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It has Arizona, New Mexico. It's got everything from the little curio shops and tourist courts of New Mexico. It goes around to West Texas and the oil fields. And visitors will just follow this whole layout, 2,500 square feet, all the way around to a bustling main street of downtown Dallas in the 1960s with all the theater marquees. And it sort of ends at Union Station where all the trains originate and terminate. And this whole layout is woven together by model trains that operate through all of this wonderful scenery.
So does the Sanders set, is it part of Traintopia or, okay. So
yes.
It's part of that presentation.
Yeah, Traintopia is essentially the Sanders train layout that was in their home for many years. And we're going to expand it later this year once we get funding. We're actually going to end up with 3,000 square feet of trains. We have another family in Dallas that has donated another model train system that is just spectacular.
I have to ask, do you have trains at home?
I do. My excuse is that I have a 13-year-old, and but honestly, I'm in there playing with him sometimes. So there's trains pretty much 24/7 in our house.
Bob, if our listeners want to find you and find out more about trains and find out all about trains, where can we find you?
Well, we are definitely all things trains. They can find us in Frisco. We are at 8004 North Dallas Parkway, and that's where they can get tickets to take walking tours of our collection of cars and locomotives, over 65 pieces of rolling stock. They can also come and visit Traintopia at that location, and they can also buy tickets online for Traintopia, which is a magnificent model train layout indoors.
That's outstanding. Well, we look forward to getting up there and seeing some trains, and hopefully our listeners will be up there soon. So thank you, Bob, again for coming by. This is Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. Man, that was fun.
Bob LaPrelle, thank you for coming on today. It's really exciting, and your passion really shines through. Your passion for trains and historic preservation as well. So
great to have someone here with that much knowledge of Dallas, that much knowledge of transportation. It's just, of course, I don't know if we mentioned in our opening segment, they are a client of ours, so it's really good to have clients who make that type of impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to take the kiddo up there. We were down at Children's Hospital a week or so ago, and they have trains down in the basement down there, and man, her eyes lit up just watching those things. So it's on the list to make a trip up to see Traintopia and see their exhibits. And
I like that. I like the idea of taking the Austin trip and going down through Fort Worth and the Hill Country, getting on the dining car. That is something that I really will put on my 6-month goals list.
We'll get you a top hat. I don't know, a bow tie. You can dress up.
I like that. I really do. I will make a note of that as well. And I think that would be really good to socialize that situation. Hey, so football season's coming up, and looks like you are going to be making a really exciting SMU sports trip.
Yes. You can't get out of an episode of Deconstructing Dallas without an SMU note. Excited Boulevard season's coming up, but week 3, the Mighty Mustangs head to Ann Arbor, head to the Big House to take on the Michigan Wolverines, and Mrs. Trimble and I just booked the flights today. So I'm really excited. I mean, when else am I going to go to the Big House, Shawn? It's a bucket list trip. It's a it's a sports bucket list trip, and I'm super excited.
Upset alert?
Absolutely.
Okay. Coach Dykes, get them pumped up. Get ready to, take it to Jim Harbaugh and his squad.
Just take on the world.
Okay. I'm down. Count me in as the eyebrow raised and, with twirling my whiskers thinking, hey, this might be the one.
First.
This might be the one.
First.
I mean, it's the classic don't take a side. I think this just might happen. This is very possible. I'm not sure. So, either way. But no, that'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward. I know I have another friend who is a Michigan Wolverines fan who lives here.
Oh, interesting.
And he took that trip 2 years ago and was totally blown away. It was his first time going to the Big House, even though he's been a fan for almost all his life. So looking forward to hearing your stories.
Yeah, it should be an exciting trip. So thank you again, Mrs. Trimble. Speaking of transportation and travel, she's in the airline family. Her folks are both from the airline industry. So she is way more skilled at planning a trip than I am.
Man, that is very fortunate.
It's really nice
very
thing
fortunate
to have around.
For that.
Thanks, honey. So thank you again, Bob LaPrelle, and thank you to the Museum of the American Railroad. We're really excited to have you all on board.
And thank you, Ryan Trimble, for sharing your time with me once again. That's what friends are for.
It's an honor, sir.
All right, this is Deconstructing Dallas, and it is an Allen Media production. It is produced by Shawn Williams and edited and mixed by C3 Films. Thank you, Jennifer Pascal. Thank you to Mary Woodley. We want all of our iPhone listeners to please make sure and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can like and subscribe on Stitcher and SoundCloud and any other podcast platform you find us on. So, until we meet again, Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble, Deconstructing Dallas. Adios.